Hello everybody. Today we're going to talk about different foods within this unit of study. So if you take a look at this slide here, you will see that we have blueberry muffins, cornbread, biscuits, crumpets, banana bread, popovers, scones, waffles, and pancakes. So take a minute to think about what these foods all have in common. You might say that they have a lot of flour in them. Maybe you're thinking that they are all baked goods. But then again, a cake could technically be a baked good, or a cookie could be a baked good. You might say that they're all breakfast foods, but if I was to add strawberry shortcake or even Zeppelis to this slide, then they probably wouldn't be considered breakfast foods. So what these actually all have in common are that they are considered quick breads. And what is a quick bread? Quick breads are flour mixtures. So if you had guessed maybe that they all have a lot of flour in them, you'd be correct too. They include many different kinds of breads, and we use that term breads loosely here. They differ in flavor, size, shape, and general appearance, depending upon the ingredients that are added into the recipe. If something uses a lot of flour and not a lot of sugar, then the product is probably going to be a bit bland. If you're making something that is like a sweet bread, then you'd probably have a lot more sugar in it and the taste would be different. Here we have muffins that are cooked in a round tin. Those are individual size portions. This is a whole loaf of banana bread. It's cooked in a loaf pan. The shape of the waffle is different. It's cooked in a specific iron that gives it these indentations. And these are popovers, which actually pop out of the glass ramekin or custard cup that they are cooked in. When thinking about quick breads, there are three different categories that we always talk about. Number one is your pour batter. Number two are your drop batters. And number three are your soft doughs. Pour batters are the thinnest of the quick breads. They literally can be poured from the mixing bowl either onto the griddle or onto the iron like a waffle iron. And the ratio of flour to liquid is pretty much even. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, again, this could possibly be your waffles, your pancakes, or your popovers. Drop batters, however, are starting to get a little bit thicker than your pour batters. You can't just pour them from the mixing bowl. Okay, they're fairly thick and they need to be scraped from the bowl into the baking pan. So you would have to use either a spoon or a scooper, like an ice cream scooper, to remove and physically drop the batter into the baking pan. These are thicker. They have more flour than liquid, and it's usually twice the amount of flour to liquid ratio, so a 2-to-1. These could be your muffins, drop biscuits, and some loaf breads and coffee cakes. The third one is your soft dough. Now, a dough is different than a batter because it is much thicker. This one you can actually put on a countertop or a cutting board, roll it out or press it out with your hands, and then cut it into different shapes. This is a lot thicker and has 3 times as much flour than liquid. So that's your 3-to-1 ratio. These could be biscuits, donuts, and scones, and some coffee cakes, but most often coffee cakes are a drop batter. Here are some facts. Some are baked in an oven or on a griddle, while others may be deep fat fried. So in the oven, we would cook our muffins, biscuits, loaf breads, and popovers. On a griddle or frying pan would be your pancakes. Your waffles need to get cooked in a specific device called a waffle iron. Otherwise, the batter is so thin it would just pour all over the place. The actual waffle iron holds the batter within itself. And then deep fried would be your Zeppelis or hush puppies. And hush puppies are corn cakes that originated by hunters. More quick bread facts. breads. All of them can be made quickly and served piping hot. In fact, this is the reason why quick breads are called such. They need to be mixed quickly and baked quickly. If you leave a quick bread batter sitting out on a counter for a lengthy time, the leavening agent, the baking soda or the baking powder, will lose its potency, and your food will not rise or bake properly. It will be flat and dense. They are made with these fast-acting leavening agents, such as the baking powder or baking soda. Again, that is why they are called quick breads. Functions of ingredients. All of your quick breads have these ingredients in common. The first one is flour. This provides structure and it also thickens the product. Baking powder is one of your leavening agents. It makes the product rise. Baking soda is also a leavening agent. Baking soda most often makes something spread, whereas baking powder makes something rise up. Think of powder. Something's going to grow, get taller. Eggs add color, flavor, bind the ingredients together, enrich by adding nutrients, and also emulsifies. Shortenings, your butters and your fats, add tenderness, flavor, and flakiness. Salt is the ingredient that would bring out the other flavors within the bread. Your food should never taste salty, but the salt should actually enhance other flavors. Your liquids activate the leavening agents. So when your baking soda and baking powder first get mixed with that liquid, it starts to give off that carbon dioxide gas. The liquids also help to bind, blend, and add flavor if they are juice or milk, for example, and they help to create the gluten. And lastly, sugar. Sugar helps to add flavor and also assists with the browning process. Your leavening agents are carbon dioxide gas, and this is given off from baking soda. Baking soda, however, requires an acid ingredient to activate and release the carbon dioxide gas. So you would need lemon juice or orange juice or buttermilk in order to get that baking soda to work. Again, this makes the product spread. Baking powder is double acting. So the carbon dioxide gas is released twice. The first time when it comes in contact with the liquid, and then again when heat is introduced, either in the oven, on the griddle, or in a waffle iron. This makes your product rise, and baking powder is also your most common chemical leavening agent for quick breads. Air and steam could also be used as leavening agents. There are two methods of mixing for quick breads. One is called your muffin method of mixing, which is also known as a two-bowl method, one for liquid, one for dry. And the other one is called the biscuit method. The muffin method or two-bowl method is used for muffins, waffles, griddle cakes, popovers, and fruit and nut breads. This is most often used for your pour batters and your drop batters. First, you mix the dry ingredients in a large bowl. In a separate bowl, you would mix the liquid ingredients, hence where you get the two-bowl term from. The fat is melted and evenly distributed throughout the whole mixture. You would make a well in the center of the dry ingredients bowl and pour the liquids into the well in the dry ingredients. You would mix to moisten the dry ingredients. Lumps may remain. Do not overmix them. You would then pour, scoop, or drop the batter into the desired baking equipment. The biscuit method is used for soft doughs such as classic rolled biscuits or doughs. First, your recipe might tell you to sift the dry ingredients together. Cut the fat into the flour mixture using a pastry blender. This distributes the fat evenly throughout the product, but as a solid fat, and this leads to a flaky product. You would then add your liquid ingredients and mix until just moistened. You drop the dough onto a lightly floured surface and fold it over itself as if you were kneading it. You would then press or roll out the soft dough and use a biscuit cutter to cut it out into the shapes of desire. Then it gets baked on a cookie sheet. Gluten. Gluten is something that forms when you mix flour with water. It is the elastic strands from protein that form inside of your product. Gluten gives strength and elasticity to the batter or dough, and it will retain the air, steam, or carbon dioxide so that the bread can increase in volume or rise. A caution for gluten. If you overmix and handle quick breads too much, a large amount of gluten is going to develop and your bread will become tough. If muffin batter, for example, is overmixed, peaks and tunnels will form. And if you look right here, this is what we're talking about regarding a peak, and these are the tunnels within the muffin. Characteristics of high-quality quick breads. Your rolled biscuits will be light brown with a crust. The top will be flat. They'll be symmetrical, flaky, and have a tender crumb. Muffins will have a rounded top, no peaks, with a golden brown and pebbly surface. They will have soft, tender crumb and no tunnels or air pockets inside. Loaf breads will have a rounded top, no peak or caved-in center, and be golden brown. How do you know if your quick bread is cooked? For muffins and loaf breads, you can do the toothpick test. Insert a toothpick in the center, and if it comes out clean, it's cooked. For biscuits, they will be golden brown and hollow sounding. Pancakes. You will flip them once the bubbles surface and pop. Cook them for an additional minute. Caution. Adjust the temperature of the heat so the bottom does not burn before the center of the pancake cooks through. For waffles, they typically take about 3.5 minutes in a waffle iron. The steam will stop and they should be golden brown. A caution. If you open the waffle iron before it is cooked, the waffle may tear in half and get stuck in the iron. When storing quick breads, they often lose their freshness rapidly. You should therefore store them in a tightly closed container or a zipper-sealed bag. Quick breads also freeze well. Freezing better preserves the freshness of quick breads. Once a frozen quick bread needs to be eaten, it's easy. You just have to take them out of the freezer and warm them up. It's very convenient. Some quick bread varieties that you may not be too familiar with are scones, crumpets, griddle cakes, and shortcakes. Scones are single-serving cakes or quick breads originated in the United Kingdom. They are usually made of wheat, barley, or oatmeal with baking powder as a leavening agent and are baked on sheet pans. Crumpets are a quick bread which originated in England. Griddle cakes. Americans use the name griddle cake interchangeably for pancakes. However, in many countries, such as the UK, a pancake is usually flat, wide, and thin, similar to a French crepe. Shortcakes are sweetened biscuits that are usually served as a dessert with a fruit and cream filling, such as strawberry shortcakes. And some convenience items. We have refrigerator items such as biscuits that are sold in tubes, mixes, they are dry ingredients that need liquids mixed in, and frozen. These are already fully prepared and just need to be heated. During this presentation, you saw a variety of quick bread items and how to cook them, store them, and how they are classified, either as pour batters, drop batters, or soft doughs. Throughout the unit, we will be making many labs for different quick breads.